You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZW LP Conroe and 106.1 KZCCLP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Good morning, everybody. Wow, it is Wednesday. Halfway there. So excited. And I'm really excited about our potential guest. If he's not sleeping in, Mark Hader. Hanging with the haters, Mark.
Is there a time zone?
Huh?
Is there a time zone? Sorry to interrupt.
He should be in the Eastern Zone, right? Washington State's in the Eastern.
That's not. He's on the west side.
He's on the. I thought he was an hour ahead. I don't know why I was thinking. I thought.
It's probably 9 o'clock where he is.
It's probably. You better be awake, and
let's see.
We're gonna try and call him again.
Yeah, it's 8. Actually, it's 8:04 a.m. there.
Oh my word! That could be the whole problem right there. Is that?
Well, Mark, if you're listening, please message the station on Facebook or email me at dick@irlonestar.com.
Yeah,
and we'll get you on the air. We've been trying to reach out to you, and I hope you're okay.
We've been trying to reach out to you, Mark. Yes. Well, it's okay. We got a full house, anyway.
Yeah,
Mark.
we do,
if you don't show up, we'll keep it going. It'll be all right. I wanted to just say hello to the voice you've been hearing, which you hear all morning long, is Richard Schissler. Boy, with this thing I have in my mouth, it's like a retainer, as the palate is too thick. And so it's difficult for me to say certain words. And Richard Schissler is like the worst.
Then you call me Dick.
Okay, I just can't do that. But anyway, and also the laugh that you hear is my grandson, 12-year-old. What is your name again? Oh, yeah, Samuel.
How did you forget that name?
I didn't forget his name.
How many Sams are you going to have on the show?
Yeah, that's right. Samuel Combs. Coombs, but they pronounce it Combs. Anyway, and also Austin is is the engineer today.
Austin McComb.
Austin McComb?
McComb.
McComb? Yeah, that's right. That's right. He's a McCombs. Yeah.
McCombs.
I like that. Anyway, Austin's with us today, and we've been talking gaming, and not gamey, but gaming. And, you know, every 12-year-old in the whole world is like so into it, and you talk to them, and it's a whole different language. And if you want to see Austin's true side, his real side, all you have to do is just watch his face when you say the word gaming, and let's talk some of the games. But
can I ask something?
No, what?
Well, your kid, you have Samuel here, and we have Austin. How important is video games to the people to your age group?
I'd say extremely important.
So,
Austin is 18.
Well, I know, I'm trying to, because like Sam over here, like you say, he's 12, and I know when I was growing up, video games were still considered like you're kind of a nerd if you play video games. And in school, when you get those labels on you, it's like that's just the way it is.
But you're still playing.
Oh, well, I didn't care what people think. I was just curious because it wasn't cool to play video games.
Right, but I mean,
is it cool now? Is it cool to be good at video games? Because I'm very good at them.
Mostly, yeah.
Finally, Richard got good at them, and he doesn't have anybody to play with because nobody wants to play it.
It's
an
just
old
what
guy.
type of game you play.
Yeah, it's the game.
Well, because I know that's a big deal today. Is like what people on YouTube are playing, because YouTube has this huge viewing of people playing silly. I'm talking like silly games.
But if you're still but see, Richard's still playing My Pony. So if you're still playing My Little Pony, I think probably not a cool guy to play. What is your most? What do you think is a cool game, Richard?
These days, I like puzzle games a lot. So what I've been doing is because my time is shifted. Back when I was in high school, middle school.
Now, did you have a girlfriend?
I didn't have a girlfriend, but like usually after school, I'd have to come home, do my homework.
Right.
And right when I was finished my homework, I would have free time. Mm-hmm. And you'd either be playing video games or going outside. Well, when I hurt my knee, I wasn't really allowed to do anything on my legs a lot, so I played a lot of video games. So I play probably an hour a day, hour or plus, depending on my free time. And that's a lot of video game time.
It is.
And today I only have 30 minutes maybe if I'm lucky.
Wow.
If I'm lucky. And I found puzzle games to be the most fun because they're short and you just have to do certain things for 15 minutes and then you're done.
I have a
So-
question. Did you notice that you had an uptick in headaches and stuff like that when you played more?
I've never experienced
You've
any.
never had.
I've never experienced anything with withdrawals. One thing I have experienced with video games, if I'm playing something fast paced,
Yeah.
I know that my brain is getting overstimulated. I feel that, like I feel jittery, and I'm like, that was awesome.
Right.
It's like my adrenaline is just pumping when I'm playing the sports games or I'm playing against people because it's fun to compete.
Well, I think that's why some of the people have to tune out of the Cindy Cochran Show because their brain gets overstimulated, and I understand that, and I don't want to,
That's
maybe
why I
we
can't
should
be
put-
around you all the time.
Maybe that's right, because we should do a disclaimer before the show. But remember, in the arcades, when you go in there before you had video games that touch your hands, do you remember that, Richard, or do you always remember having video games?
No, I will.
'Cause you're the oldest person in the room.
I grew up with 3 older brothers, and the oldest brother is about, I think, 13 years older than I am. So when we first started doing video games, it was traditionally the arcade. Because that was a cool
Right.
place to go, and like my brother had to watch me.
So you went to the gaming
So I went
rooms
to the
and stuff.
arcade, and that's when I started like competing. That's when I first started playing games against people,
Yeah.
and that was a lot of fun. I still like doing that. It's a lot of, and it's amazing how people are good at video games. So like you think you're good, there's always it's a good lesson, especially in life. When you compete in life, you're never the best, and you'll never be the best because it's crazy to me. No
But
matter what you're doing,
Do
sports.
you remember? Okay, do you remember the movie with Savage? I don't know.
Yeah, you're
The
talking about the
Wizard.
Wizard.
The Wizard.
yeah.
Listen, boy, these guys know this.
Well, it's a
Samuel's
classic movie
never-
for
This is
people who
great.
like video
Samuel,
games.
Samuel's got to watch that game.
It's bad.
Power Glove.
It's bad.
It's so bad.
It's so bad. That's a great line.
It is, and so if you watch that, Samuel, you're going to see how far you've come now from that movie, because that movie was it's so antiquated now. But it's like the Hackers with Angelina Jolie. Have you seen that movie? Have you ever seen that?
No.
Well,
Yeah, I've seen that movie.
but it's
Hack the planet, bro.
yeah, it's like it's a movie that was like in 2 years, 3 years. It was old. It was just antiquated. You couldn't. A lot of the stuff they have in there. There's no way that they're going back in time, thinking that they were being so futuristic, but they weren't. They really weren't being futuristic. It was just because everything changed. So
When I watched
quickly.
that movie, it made me think of how obvious it is people are trying to hack because they're taking the phone line out of the public phone systems. They and they would plug it
Right.
into their computer. I'm like, clearly this person's doing something. And
That's right. It's so funny when you watch movies that people have no cell phones and they have no, they don't have the technology we have today. It's so hard to see,
always,
like.
well,
to
it's great
make
when
it
they try to
scary.
show you, like when
Right.
people like there's movies that try to show you what the internet is visually.
Yeah, right.
Like Lawnmower Man, and then like
Oh, yeah.
Hackers, and like Tron. That's what Tron's based off of.
Right.
Like it takes place in a computer.
That's right.
And you're kind of like, man, this is great. And but
It's
Hackers
so
is a great movie.
I think for its time, I remember watching it for the first time and thinking, wow, this is what the computer, this is what you can do, and these are all the things. It's like when War Games
War
came out.
Games with
Yeah.
Broderick.
Broderick. That's
Yeah.
right. He was. That was amazing.
Well, those movies was funny. There's a scene in Hackers, and there's a scene. I never forget these scenes in like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and then there's a scene. It's the second one where there's like where all the bad kids hang out, and
Yeah.
it's like a skate park.
Right.
And
right.
like just really cool. There's soda everywhere, and I'm like, man, are these even real? Because I can imagine myself at 13, 14 hanging out at a place. I would love it because they're
Yeah.
playing video games, skateboarding, just having fun. But it's rad.
Yeah.
But I can never find those places. so.
No, and your mother would let you go there anyway now because that's what's bad too. Is you watch the old movies where the kids jump on the bike and they take off, and you go like, he can't even go down to the end of the driveway. Samuel can't because it's too dangerous. Everything's too dangerous, and you're afraid.
No, it's. I'm not
And I'm-
afraid. You
no,
just
I
won't
am.
let me.
Well, there's a reason why. Speaking of technology, if you guys have been out to the stores lately and trying to find Elmer's glue,
Oh, great.
I want to tell you something. Have you been trying to look for Elmer's glue at all? Have you?
I haven't used Elmer's glue. I've kind of grown up and done the proxy stuff, and
Oh,
then
okay.
maybe the super glue, depending on what I'm trying to glue. Elmer's glue was only good for like construction paper, and it wasn't even good.
But wait, now they found another use for it. And you
Slime.
cannot find Elmer's glue anywhere because of slime. All the kids can make slime, and now
What is it? Is it kind of like the
It's,
cornstarch and?
no,
no, it's glue, baking soda, and contact solution. And if you want food coloring,
Yeah.
it just colors it. And then you mix all that together and you wait. It'll turn into like a substance that you can play with.
Yeah, because they did that before with it was like cornstarch,
Right.
and it was like putty. Like you slam it really hard and it hurts, but then
Well, this has just gone crazy, and right now when everybody's trying to get their school supplies, it's like Cabbage Patch Dolls. You're trying to find where Elmer's glue is, and so I went to get some the other day.
So are you saying they stopped selling it, or are you saying because
No,
so
it's
many
out.
people are
It goes
buying
so
it?
it goes so fast.
And
they
they're
can't
loving
keep
it.
it
They
in.
probably came up with that stuff. They probably got some kids. They went to your
Right.
school systems. Like, let me show you this cool trick with
Right.
Elmer's glue.
This is it, and it's just
Just like
And like
drugs.
YouTube
Spread.
has been taken over by it. Like,
taken over.
Taken.
Well, you gotta
Hey,
get that
hey,
right.
my mother does the same thing, man. You got to learn.
This is how I feel every day with my sister. She does it too.
Taken over by Elmer's glue.
It's just.
At least they're not
it's a
huffing
very-
it.
Well, see, that's what I mean. It's like, you used to be afraid and you keep it up
Or
high.
you're eating it. That
because
was kind of the
somebody
joke.
was,
Who's the kid that eats glue
It's
in the
glue.
class?
Oh, that's
And then-
that's that pasty.
Well, I mean, there's always that kid. You know?
And then they find out what slime is, and then they eat that.
They can just go right to the slime and eat that. But I think that it's funny because we've got to figure out how to get the glue back in the stores again. And
Well, maybe Mark knows.
maybe, and he's on the phone.
He's the teacher.
Have we got him on the phone yet?
Well, we're going to call him and
Okay.
break.
All right, and we're gonna be back with Mark Hader. But this is weird because I made a guy go in the back and find the glue. He came back with a box.
Why
and
don't
he
you just
covered
order it on
up.
Amazon?
I don't do that stuff. But
I mean,
he was.
you just
Like she
you
orders.
don't even have to go anywhere. You just let it come, and actually, you might let him outside every once in a while to go get the package.
Okay,
She-
he was covering up the boxes. He came out the back storage room with the
Wow.
glue, and he said, "Okay, I found a box," and I said, "I'll buy every one of them." I just went crazy. I don't want 10 things of glue, Elmer's glue, but I got it. So now I'm selling it on the
It's
market.
like on the
for-
black market.
That's right. Okay, we've got Mark Hader coming up. So please, if you've missed Mark, stay with us. If you haven't, you gotta get more of Mark. Mark is there. Mark is gonna be there for us. You guys, please don't go away because this is the Cindy Cochran Show, and that means real reality radio.
Don't forget to download the Lone Star Community Radio app from your Google Play or Apple Store. Bring Montgomery County's community radio with you anywhere with your smartphone or tablet. If you are in the Conroe area, tune in on FM. That's Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1. If you are on the computer, bookmark irlonestar.com as your internet radio station. A Lone Star Community Radio. Broadcasting 24/7 from the heart of downtown Conroe, Texas.
And you're back on the Cindy Cochran Show. So happy to have you. And we know you have a choice, and so we're glad you chose IR Lone Star, the community radio station, 106.1 in Conroe and 104.5 in the Willis, New Waverly area. So we got you covered. And if you miss any of this show, one word of it, you can always go to Suddenlink on Channel 12, Monday through Wednesday, and watch it at 9 a.m. Oh, yeah. And then that's the podcast type, where it's recorded, pre-recorded, but then live at 10 o'clock. It's so exciting. And go to YouTube, and you can watch the show. Not only hear it, but watch it. I hear heavy breathing I can you hear heavy breathing? I think it's Mark Hader. Mark, are you there?
Hello, Cindy.
I told you it was him. Mark Hader, good morning, and thank you for being here.
I thought I wasn't going to make it, Cindy, for a while. I don't know phones, but, we're talking 2,300 miles away. Sheesh.
And it sounds like you're next door.
Yeah, I don't get it. But I really do need to purchase some glue if you've still got it on hand.
It'll only
on the
cost
black
you
market.
$150. That's all I'm going to tell you.
I don't. You order on Amazon. It's
Like
problem solved.
he's doing it right
That's
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm looking it up.
yeah.
I need that glue.
I'm telling you.
Cindy, I missed the very beginning, who is your guest?
Mark Hader. Mark
No,
Hader
who's
is
with
here.
you there?
What?
That's not. Who is the young lady with you?
Young lady.
Young lady.
I think he's talking about Samuel.
Oh, Samuel. Samuel's here.
That's
Samuel. That's Samuel. Yeah.
Or you might be
That's
talking about Austin.
me. Come on.
Your voice, young man, is coming over like a very mature Cindy, and I should have guessed. I thought it was. I apologize, Samuel.
It's okay.
You need to, yeah, thank you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Samuel. It's okay, Mark.
Yeah. But,
I'm not gonna
Austin,
speak in a low
so you got a
voice,
new
just so you know.
tech guy there. That's great.
Well, I can't believe we're talking to the Mark Hader. Mark Hader. Now, are you still doing the column in the Courier? My first
yes.
question. Okay.
As
So
far as I know, I keep sending it to him, and
you keep
I
sending
get
it
to
to him.
reporting it. I see it in the Villager currently. I've been reading newspapers online now, Cindy. I never thought I could, and I don't enjoy it, but that's what I've had to do.
There's no, they at least could put the crackle of the paper as you turn it or as you go to the next story,
Yeah.
so that you have that feeling at least. There's no tactical to it, but
Yeah.
at least have that. But you are in the Conroe Courier. He's one of the featured writers on Sunday in Trends, right? Is that correct?
Twins, yes.
Yes, in
Yeah.
Trends. And so,
And thanks for that point.
yeah, well, that's the only way we have, like our contact with you. And because you left because your home was sold out from under you, right?
So right out from under me, Cindy. I never
my
believed.
word.
I mean,
I can't believe
5
that.
days, and we were thinking, a couple of months.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, man,
whatever.
5 days. Who was your realtor? We'll give them a plug.
Yeah, Wendy Welsh from, she lives in Willis somewhere, but Mariner, thank you so much, Cindy. Mariner Realty, that's a plug for her.
Okay, well, that's good. But we hate that she, got rid of y'all so fast. But so you're building a house. You're going to come back, right? You are coming back, right?
I'm thinking, I got a feeling we'll be spending Thanksgiving here, but it should be around that time that we make it back.
Wow. I'm not even asking
Houses go.
how big is this? Like a mansion, an estate? What are y'all building that's going to take so long?
No, it's in a new subdivision they're building just about a mile and a half from our old home.
Oh, good. Okay.
And we were downsizing actually, and but we've still got practically everything we had in the big house. We're going to try to cram it in the little house, which I'm against. We'll see how it goes.
I know, but
Oh, man.
that's the hardest thing, is the leaving all of that stuff. Now, that's all in a big storage unit.
Cindy, it is in a 20 by 20 storage unit that is packed from, I'm not joking, you can barely get the door open. You have to put your foot in and shove stuff out of the way. They threw it in there, and it is to the ceiling, and I'm going to have to get some scientist or something to figure out, geometrist to figure out how this chair, if you move it, will all this stuff tumble or what. It was 3 women out.
Three women.
What's big I don't know. But,
3 women and their cousin. Yeah.
Well.
Well, I think that if you do that, when you come back to unpack and move everything back in, I want to know when that's going to be, so that I won't be answering any of your calls that you say, Cindy, come help us move. We're having a moving party. Oh, yes.
You might want to, I'll give you a list of my acquaintances who have pickup trucks, and you might want to tell them also. No, we'll hire somebody. It's going to take somebody really smart to get all that stuff out.
Oh, man, what a... it reminds me of when you would get your house exterminated a long time ago, where they used to... You have to take everything out of the drawers, put them somewhere, and cover everything up, and do all that. And, if I had to do all that, I would go ahead and move. I would just go ahead and move if I've got to do all that stuff.
When you get to that stage, you've got to consider it. Consider a move. And Cindy, we gave away so much stuff, bookcases, tables, and still, it's it's not going to be like a new house if we move all the old stuff back in.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
So you've got a lot of stuff that you've got to Move back. What did you take? Are you at Sue's house?
Yes. We took the clothes on our backs and Kay's jewelry making stuff.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the back of the Highlander was just packed with stuff. And we cannot bring the thing back. We've been to Walmart to purchase TV trays and an image desk and all that. We can't take back with us.
No. I hope you kept the receipt. You bring back to Walmart.
That's Cindy now. That wouldn't work. That's not good. But you're right. That would have been an idea. Bring it back. Yeah.
Why didn't I think of that? I should have kept the
I
receipts.
realize you did that with your prom dress, but I don't think we should do it. I don't.
No, I think I did that with. Oh, this is awful. I'm going to confess. I'm going to confess this. Samuel's playing games on his phone, so he won't hear this. But
I'm still listening.
okay. One time I was driving somewhere. It was going to take me like 8 hours to get to this place, and I thought, I have got to have a TV. I've got to be able to watch something. So I went to Walmart halfway there and bought a TV and a converter so I could play it in the car. And it's a little TV. I mean, it's like this little TV, but I've got it in the passenger side down on the floorboard, and I turned it on. I mean, it wasn't that I was watching the TV. I just wanted to hear, Andy Griffith and all that. And so I went and bought all those shows, and there I was writing down 45, with my TV on. And so when I finished and left the place that I rode back, and halfway there, I went to Walmart and took it back. Isn't that terrible? That's so awful, and I hate to admit that. And I hope the police aren't there watching me, but are listening to me. But it's terrible.
You were easy to spot with the rabbit ears on top of your car, I imagine.
See, what made it even more expensive would have been if they stopped me and said, "You're watching what? You're watching TV while you're driving. Shut up." And so now, of course, we've got it in our, in your steering wheel. You can have a monitor in your steering wheel and watch TV. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, I wanted to ask you too about the things that you were, that you're planning on, things that are coming up, and things that will be in your future. Are you going to be coming back, and you're going to come back, and are y'all going to do the Hanging with Haters show yet?
No, I really have no plans. I don't.
There you go.
I really don't know how you do it, but takes, even when we were doing one show, it took so much planning, and then you're wrestling with sponsors, and it was really tough. I have to think about it before diving into that again. And it's, I don't have it's not interest. I'm very interested in just being on the radio. I guess my ego's enough to do that, but just getting it all done and ready. And I worry too much about stuff like that, and it's.
Well, see,
and I know that anymore.
I know that you do, because you texted me, and I promised, after I read your text, I thought, am I going to have to fill out a pie chart and send it to him? First segment, we're going to talk about this. Second segment, you're like, give me the subject. Give me the subject matter. So tell me what we're going to do and all that. And you know how this show goes.
Yeah.
We're talking about glue at the beginning of the show, so you know how that happens.
Cindy, that's what you are. You're very pertinent.
Yes, exactly. Fly by the seat of my pants. But I want to know how Kay is doing. People that have listened to Hang with the Haters are surely wanting to know, how's Kay?
That young lady is doing wonderful. She's happy as can be. Right now it's 8:30 in where I'm sitting, and she's still in bed, and that's good. It's a good thing.
That is good.
I tell you, our family that's up here, which are the offspring of my sister Susan, they are the nicest people. Gosh, and they're active as all get out, and I start doing stuff, but they're not getting me to milk the goats yet. But everybody's been so nice to us, and it's really been a great experience.
So there's been no culture shock going from Texas to Washington State.
No question about it.
Yeah.
It is. They get from 5 to 8 inches rainfall a year, and it is a desert without. I look around, and there is plenty. There across the street from me, there's a cherry orchard. There's grape vineyard. There's a vineyard across the street. There's hops. Cindy, I know you don't have time, but they got hops out the wazoo. It's a 10-foot tall waste field, of hops that grows up a vine, and it's massive. You take away irrigation in this, you could shoot an episode of Death Valley Days right here outside this.
Really? It's so funny what your priorities become when you move away from home, and you are, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do, right? I know your sister is waiting on you hand and foot, and you better tell her I said hi. I missed our calls.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever we did the Mark and Cindy show, and I failed to preface you coming on saying our history is the Mark and Cindy show back in the day. Was that 2014 or 15 when we started that show? 14.
Cindy, I don't know.
I think it was 2014.
Like at least 14. I
Yeah,
guess.
14. Because this month is my second year.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
How you do it?
How I do it. I think it's because of Richard's encouragement and steadfast support in everything I do, and saying how good I look when I come in, and boy, have you lost weight, Cindy, and that kind of stuff always keeps you coming back for more.
He's a wealth of encouragement. I realize. The thing is, has Samuel graduated from high school? Is that why he's off not in? Oh, it's summer.
No, he's going into 7th grade. Christy, my oldest daughter, just came and picked him up.
Yeah.
She heard him on the radio, so she came and got him. And Christy is teaching. Christy, my oldest daughter, she had her first year of teaching, and she's teaching 7th grade. Seventh grade. Isn't that what you taught at Splendora?
Oh my goodness!
And she
Hey,
won.
they're already in school. No, they couldn't be in school.
No, they're not in school yet. Not until 17. But she won new teacher of the year there. So her first year teaching, and I would hear, she'd call me every day and talk about how bad the kids are. They're so bad. They're so bad, and how having to put up with these kids. And she said, "What happened to kids in school? Because when I was in school, no one acted like this." And so she's going through that. And I thought for sure she was going to quit. And she said, "I'll work at Kroger instead of teaching school. This is ridiculous." But what happened, though, is probably happened to you, is that she stayed with it. And the kids that were like these really bad kids that she thought there's no hope for, turned around. And they wrote her letters saying, if it wasn't for you, I would be in detention, whatever, school. And but because of you believing in me and staying with me, it just, that hooked her. That she's hooked now. And she's an amazing teacher. And so it's really exciting. So Chad's a teacher, and she's a teacher, and Samantha's still singing. So she said to tell you hi. And Cindy slept through it. She said, "Tell Mark I said hi, and I miss him." I said, "Okay." So I wanted to let you know that you are missing. And we've got to go to a break, Mark. You know what those are.
I know exactly what those are. I thought we were a break bit.
No. So we will be back. So don't go away, Mark. You hang on. Hanging with Mark.
Okay.
Okay. We'll be right back. So you're listening to the Cindy Cochran Show, which is real reality radio. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Our talk shows and music shows are looking for sponsors. Want to expand your brand awareness? Reach the hyper-local audience in Montgomery County? The Lone Star Community Radio sponsorships accomplish this. Want to see our stats and rates? Check out irlonestar.com/sponsor for more information. Or call in and leave us a message at 936-647-3776 with your question. Get seen on TV or YouTube and heard on our podcast, FM, and internet radio. Sponsor your local radio station with Lone Star Community Radio.
And we're back on the Cindy Cochran Show. Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it for sure. And we've been so excited because we had Mark Hader, and he's still with us on the phone. And all of you that used to listen to the Mark and Cindy show back in the day, it was a fun show to do. Isn't that right, Mark?
It was, and I mean, we're still somewhere on, I don't know if it's YouTube, but we're definitely in the archives of from whenever.
Can we still look up?
That was interesting, very interesting, and we had some fun days.
Yes, we did. It's like a vacation. The vacation after it's over and you think back on it, you only remember the good things, and it was a great vacation. But during it, you could have killed each other, or arguing and all that stuff. But
it was so much easier to prepare for me because I mean I didn't have to worry about bedtime, and that means a whole lot to you. And I'm not saying that by any stretch of the imagination a bad thing, but when you can go in there and realize we'll have something to talk about,
well,
and I've got a few things listed,
it was so much fun. Well, because our history, the history we have is so great, and that's, instead of saying we're old, is that we have a lot of history, and that we can talk about just about anything because of remembering stuff that back in the day, and it was so much. That was fun.
I don't think we ever saw a movie that we agreed with. I don't
think we did. I don't think there was ever a movie we agreed on. I think you're right. And so it was difficult for our audience. It just depended on who, I guess, they were more, leaned more toward.
Right.
Thinking that Mark will, of course, have the best idea on this. But my stuff was depending on how the popcorn was that night. There were so many different,
exactly.
extenuating circumstances.
Like right now, we could talk movies for ever now. But let me mention this one thing, Cindy, about Chrissy teaching.
Yeah.
You said second grade?
Seventh grade.
Seventh? Oh, my gosh. I taught seventh and eighth my first year, and like her, I rented out. I went and applied everywhere. It was horrible, and it's like she said, it gets better. The kids get better, and I think it's actually Chrissy's getting better.
That's right.
Experience.
That's right.
And the other thing I wanted to mention this, Cindy, I retired in 2003 from teaching, and last night I had one of the worst teaching nightmares. They just keep coming about kids. There's 50 kids in the class. You don't know any of them, and they're all noisy, and and so that's something else she's got to look forward to.
Oh, boy.
Nightmares.
So she needs to get one of those PTSD dogs because it's going to happen to her.
We just put it in her lap at midnight.
Oh, man. Well, I think it's an amazing experience for her. And her having this kind of job, and they pay so well. At Splendor, they pay so well, and she understands why they do now. Because the kids are listen, I'm going to tell you something. I wish you had been here because I was the only one old enough to remember this in the room, and it's hard sometimes when I look at Austin's baby eyes. And he's just 18 years old, and then Richard's kind of close to he can remember because he has older siblings or his grandparents or something remembered or talk to him about it. So, but the fact that, and I know as soon as I say this, our listeners who listen all the time are going like, oh, she's not going to get on that again, is the idea that the kids now, like Austin's age, except Austin went to Willis, and Willis, I think, is the only school district now that's still teaching a bit of cursive writing.
There was one teacher
that taught cursive writing?
He didn't teach it. He made us learn it. I went into 8th grade English. I believe it was Coach Bowles. And I didn't know how to write in cursive. And so he goes, okay, everyone, we're going to write in black pen. And we're all going to write in cursive. And if you write in print, I'll fail you. And I go, but I don't know cursive. And he goes, well, you better learn.
See, because the engineer we had, and there was somebody else there that day, it was an intern, and she couldn't read cursive. They couldn't read it because they hadn't been taught to write it, so they think it's another language to try and read.
I never thought I would live this long to see that. That was, to me, essential, and yet it's apparently not essential. In fact, spelling isn't essential, and I never was good at it. But
right.
You can spell. Everything's an acronym, obviously now, and I'm sounding like a dinosaur, but yeah, I cannot believe they don't do it. I don't know how they sign their names. It takes you so much longer to print. Me so much longer.
To print, yes, me too. And what was funny was Richard had an epiphany. We were talking about writing and cursive and all, and he said, well, and I don't know how it came up, but he didn't realize that you could connect, or you had to connect the first letter, the capital letter, to the rest of the word. And he said, like Schissler, it's an S is by itself, and then you write the rest of the. I went, no, you can still connect the S. And he went, how can you connect? See, that's what I mean. It's like we've gotten so far away from the writing skills and understanding it. Imagine all the letters, Mark, that will be lost to these kids that are going to have a translator, are going to have it made in print to be able to read all the letters that, even like in the Confederate War and in the war that Civil War, where these kids were writing letters, just beautiful letters that people used to write so beautifully, and nobody can read it. That's just amazing to me. So I thought any teacher that had taught in school and like your age, my age, that would think that writing, the art of writing is going to be gone, is because we're all going to be on the computers. It's like that they don't even now need the lockers because the books are in their computer.
Yeah, with their back pocket.
Yeah, no, Samuel has to have a thing that he rolls around because they don't use the lockers that they had built in the school that he went to. But the lockers, one, aren't big enough for the backpacks. The other is that it's better and safer that the kids don't have someplace to hide the weapons. And so they decided that no more lockers because we're going to go paperless. And so they don't get a report card, and they don't get the things that I have to go online, and you know how I am about that, and have to find out what they're doing, like what's going on in their lives at school. It's all in the parental portal. That is just, I was like, what? And so so if you want something on paper, if you want a verification of anything, you have to fill out a form. You have to fill out a form that's on paper. But anyway, so I've been talking about what are we going to do with the abundance of trees? What's going to happen to that we have?
They're going to have to prune them.
Yeah.
Like they do apples out here. By the way, Austin, speaking of Austin and his teacher, can you imagine somebody saying you need to learn cursive? I mean, we had it, we started it in, I guess, the third, maybe second grade, but it took us a good while to catch up to that.
I remember being so mad that my parents named me Cynthia and having to write Cynthia out. I couldn't have been a Sue or an Ann or something like that. But I remember in first grade having all the big cards with the cursive, alphabet around the top of the ceiling there. And so, and remember, and just imagine, that was 8th grade, right? Where the coach did that? 8th grade. So we need to pray for our leaders and pray for our students and pray that some of this stuff should not go. Some stuff shouldn't go away because of our history. So I think they should be still teaching it, for crying out loud.
I do too. By the way, and this has just hit me, the most difficult letter to print to me is the little K. To make it look like, not like a big K. It takes too much time, so I make them all look like. And I just wanted to share that and confess that to the world.
I'm so happy that someone else feels that same way, because especially with doing sign language, there wasn't capital letters in signing whenever I would teach sign language, and so the alphabet is all the same, so it's not like a capital A. But I could, you have to teach that if you wrote this down, this same word that I'm going to finger spell out, you have to write the first letter in a capital letter. And so the capital and the small letter became like, oh, am I ever going to learn this? Am I ever going to learn all that? But you do, finally. And so I'm just hoping that no one ever thinks it'd be funny to do, signs, traffic signs or anything like that in cursive.
Oh, my gosh. I never knew that, Cindy. The capital A is different than little a?
Oh, I hate to tell you that. It's just smaller, I think. It's just smaller.
Oh, okay.
I think it's just smaller. Yeah, I don't want to confuse you at all. But just maintain those skills, Mark. Just maintain those skills. I've got to go to another break, for crying out loud. And then we're going to come back and say goodbye to you, because I don't want to say goodbye. I don't. All right.
Well, you got a whole week ahead of you.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Our talk shows and music shows are looking for sponsors. Want to expand your brand awareness? Reach the hyper-local audience in Montgomery County? Lone Star Community Radio sponsorships accomplish this. Want to see our stats and rates? Check out irlonestar.com/sponsor for more information. Or call in and leave us a message at 936-647-3776.
And we're back on the Cindy Cochran Show. I have a question for Richard. We have Mark Haters on the line, and this will be our last time together for a while till you get back in town. I can't wait for y'all to come back, and I'm going to go over and see if I can hurry up the builders, okay?
Yeah, please. Keep an eye on it.
Okay, I will. I don't know how you're doing this without being here. Sam said, wait a minute, he's having the house built, and they're in Washington? I went, yeah, and he says, because Sam was, every day he was out there. I mean, talk about the hover, guy, and over those guys. And so you have someone, is Al or somebody going over and checking on things for you?
We contact by phone, and last time, we tried to have, FaceTime? And it didn't work.
I was trying to they got you on the FaceTime, and they go like, okay, here's the last thing I put up, and this didn't work. I mean, I'm not getting the shelf over here, so you're showing them everything.
Right. Yeah. Well, when we talked to them, they'd already, had the forms set, and they couldn't change a couple of things that I thought they were going to do. But,
man.
It is.
It'll be okay. It'll be all right.
I know I've got to get out of here. I wanted to say at the beginning of this show, you, Dick, and Samuel, I mean, that was a good combo. It was very interesting. And also, I want to hear the Thursday at noon movie thing. That is the greatest idea. Connor and Dick, you're on it?
Tickets, no. Nobody invited me. Ticket stub.
That is a great,
not stud. Stub.
Yeah. I like that idea.
No, it is. And what was bad was, the Willis, the Grand in Willis, that general manager was my territory. They came over and brought him in and let him be a guest on their show. Now, I've been wanting to get him on my show, and I told everybody, I told him, I said, if anybody lets out that I bring cheeseburgers and spaghetti and stuff like that into the show, sneak it in the show, I will kill y'all. So nobody better say anything about that. You understand? And we're all like yucking it up and all that. And we were talking about it on the show the day before he came here. I didn't know he was listening to my show. He told me, he says, I like your show. I listen to your show. I said, you do? And he goes, yeah, I like your show. And I went, wow, that's great. And so he comes in and he sits there, and I said, I'm so happy that you're here. And he goes, hey, Cindy, I listened to yesterday's show. And I went, you did that? So, oops. I was so busted. He said, I said, so what would you do to somebody that brought a cheeseburger or spaghetti into the show?
I don't think where you put the KFC bucket.
Well, you put it inside the big popcorn bucket, and it works out well. It works.
Have like a food court at the theater.
That's what I should be around the corner selling stuff to people. When I go to, it's funny, Mark, because when I go to the like the little store, one of those little stores that are like a 7-Eleven near the show, I go in and I get a couple of candy bars, and they go like, so what show are you seeing today? Oh, what? What? I went, everybody does it, lady. I went, okay. So
right next to the place, all right.
Yeah, that's right. I try and hide these things, but Mark, I miss you so much. And Kay, I tell Kay. You gotta give Sue a hug, a kiss for me, and Kay as well. All right, and tell them.
I'll be sweet. You bet, Cindy. Thanks for having me on, and keep them flying. Samuel, love you, bro, and keep them going. Dick, same with you, guy. Best of luck.
How
Y'all later.
sweet. Listen, Mark, this is going to replay on Friday, so be ready for Friday, okay? And you can watch and you can listen to it globally. We are on irlonestar.com, so you can listen to it there. So, Mark, thank you. Love you, brother. Okay.
Thank you, Cindy. Thank you so much, and we'll check you later.
All right. See ya. He's so great, isn't he great, Austin? He was a teacher at Oak Ridge.
Oh, wow.
And he taught social studies, history. He was that guy. And everybody loved him. And when you go anywhere with Mark, people come up and go like, you were my teacher. I love you. You're so great. It's so wonderful. So he's good. But it's raining outside. I mean, it's so sunny and all of a sudden, where'd that come from?
The sky.
Thank you, Austin. Just because you can read cursive, shut up. It came from the sky. Well,
It's supposed to rain all week.
all week?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, did I leave? I left Maddie out in the cage. She's
There
in
you
the
go.
cage.
Can't wait till you get home.
That's what she was trying to tell me. She was going, and I thought she was just saying bye. I've got to. Okay, sorry.
Was
Maddie.
it in her indoor voice?
Always in her indoor voice. Y'all, that is. I mean, it's creepy. It's so right. I'm telling you, it's right. She is trying to talk to me, and once I get the words down, it'll be great. And I'm going to do that's going to be my next life, is how to talk to your dog and how to get your dog to use the inside voice. That's my next project. Okay, but listen. So this is August. This is the last month, and the kids are going back to school and all that. Anyway, I wanted to let you know that it may be some more replays, but if I get everything all together and all that, I'll be back. Right, Richard? And if Richard let me back, but I'm going to be doing some replays, and tomorrow and Friday is always our best stuff. And then the next week I may be not here, but we'll do replays of all the best stuff. Huh?
We'll play it by ear.
We're going to play it by ear.
You're on Facebook, the Cindy Cochran Show.
Yeah.
So let people know that, and they can subscribe.
And on Suddenlink and on podcasts and all that. We're everywhere. But I may take a little time off. And so, you know how it is. It's
Grandma's
like a little
tired.
summer. Me tired. Me, grandma's tired.
Grandma's tired.
Why did you have to be an Irish accent to be a grandma?
I don't know.
A grandma. Okay, all right, so we're wrapping it up. All right, this is the Cindy Cochran Show, and we'll be here tomorrow and Friday, and we will so happy and so glad that you've listened to us. The Cindy Cochran Show, real reality radio.
Thanks for checking out this podcast of Lone Star Community Radio, Montgomery County's community radio station. If you enjoyed this recording, make sure to check out our past shows online at irlonestar.com or their respective video or podcast formats on YouTube, Google Play, or iTunes. If you have any questions regarding the show, either it being about sponsorships or questions for the host, contact the station manager at dick@irlonestar.com or call the station at 936-647-3776. This show was recorded in downtown Conroe, Texas, at the Lone Star Community Radio Studios, and Lone Star Community Radio reserves all rights to this recording and images.